The Boeing 747 is a wide-body jet aircraft that was first flown commercially in 1970. It's smooth-looking, has advanced features, and can fly like the wind. We at Typewriter Minutes have been wondering, are there any other 747s that debuted close to 1970, have advanced features, are smooth-looking, and can absolutely fly? Hi, this is Ailey from Typewriter Minutes. Today we're going to be doing a review on a Webster XL-747.
Alright, this is another Goodwill machine. We've had quite a few Websters in the house. I hadn't ever found a 747 for a good price until I found this one. And then things happen in pairs. Not a week after that, I found another 747. So I have a couple of these. And this is the first one that we worked on. We've shown reviews of the XL500. It's a very similar machine. It's got the basic Brother keyboard, the dedicated one, an exclamation mark if you can zoom in a little bit, Miss Camera Woman. It's got the touch control over on this side, light, heavy. It's got some pretty cool keys that you don't see on all Brothers. What are those two red keys for, Ailey?
The top one is for a tab.
It's got tabs set every 10 spaces. You don't have the ability to set individual tabs where you want, but it's every 10 spaces. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then what's this other red key for?
That one's for repeating spacers.
Right. Sounds like a machine gun. So that's kind of cool. Well, this machine was absolutely filthy on the inside when we got it, but we took it all apart, gave it a really good cleaning. The body was in really good shape. The body panels, it had some minor scratches and scuffs, and I did a little bit of paint touch-up on those. It has this kind of fake wood grain on the front, kind of neat looking, gives it a 1970s look, I'd say. Over here you got the ribbon color selector with your standard black, red, and stencil on the middle position. Still has the nice Parents Magazine. Zoom in, there you go. Parents Magazine sticker on the top. And then this ribbon cover, as you probably know from our other videos, just pops right up. These little rubber bumpers were rock hard, so I replaced them with new rubber bumpers. And then the rubber grommets that hold the ribbon cover in place with these posts. There's a post on each side of the ribbon cover. They go down into these rubber grommets. Those were missing, so I found some new rubber grommets and put them in there, and it's working good as new. It's got the standard Brother type basket. It's got the automatic ribbon reverse. You have to have eyelets on the ribbons, and so this is a test ribbon. We'll put a new one on when we're done with the video, but it's got little eyelets on there that come out and trigger the ribbon reverse. Or if you want to do it manually, you just have to flip those like that. And let's put this back on. Fits on nice and snug. Around to the side of the machine, very familiar Brother features. Got the platen knob. It's got a single carriage release lever on this side. Here's the carriage lock, so when you're ready to put it in the case, flip that guy forward, and then it stops halfway. That way it's nice and centered when you put it in the case. And then when you're ready to start typing, just flip that guy back. Now you can move the carriage back and forth. It's got the, if you'll zoom in a little bit, it's got the paper bail. It's got this little ergonomic hook on the side that makes it easy to flip it down. There's no paper bail rollers on here, but that's, I think Brother figured out that they didn't need them. It's a little triangular shaped paper bail, and it works just fine. It has a little flip up eraser table. So we used to put the paper flat and use that to erase. Hopefully nobody does that anymore with these machines, because then you get eraser shavings down in the bottom of the machine. And this one had a ton of them when we started. So we got all those flushed out, and it's nice and clean. It's got the push and slide margins on the right and the left. Really simple. If you'll zoom in here, there's your paper release lever. If you put the paper in crooked, just flip it up and then scooch the paper and then flip that back. Here's one of my favorite features. You don't see these on all Brothers, especially the later models. It's got the little switchblade paper support. That was all bent and mangled when I got it, but I got it straightened out so it pops up every time. Let's see, the serial number on here. It starts with a B1, so this was made in February either 61 or 71. I think it's probably a 71, even though it has white keys. I think this model was a little bit later than the 60s, so I'm gonna say 71. And then over here, if you'll come up top, this camera lady, and then zoom back down this way, you'll see the regular Brother feature for line spacing. So you got the R, you got single space, space and a half. You have to zoom up here. There we go. Single space, space and a half, double space. So you hear the clicks. And then when you have it on the R, that's the release position. So it's smooth and you can move it to wherever you want. And then when you're done, just flip that back. And then I'm gonna pass the camera back to my assistant. Here's the return handle. It has a little notch ball in there and you can feel it when it goes down, and you'll hear it click into place when you lift it up. We have a little bubble wrap thing that I keep on there when I put it in the case, because oftentimes the ribbon cover gets scratched. And in fact, there was some paint missing when we got this machine, and I did a little bit of touch-up paint. So keep some bubble wrap on there so that it doesn't scuff or scratch the machine. And that's about it. One thing we were going to show, it has just a little bit different on the bottom. It's got this little extra hump. So you got the bottom here, and then it dips down, and then it dips down one more time, and you got this little extra space here. And we'll take a short break and we'll come back and show you what that's for. Okay, here's the bottom of the 747. There's the repeat space key. And the linkage comes down here, and these pieces here are why you need that little extra space on the bottom of the machine, because as I come up this way you can see that it sticks out. So that's why you got the little hump on the bottom of the base, so that this guy here doesn't get smashed. And then there's the bobber, and so when I push the repeat space key, there's your repeat spacer right there. Alright, so that's why you need that little extra hump there, is for the repeat spacer linkage. And the feet on this are still in really good shape. I'll tip it up here. These feet are different than the feet that you find on the Webster XL-500s. When you take these screws out, they have these big shoulder screws that are bigger than the screws on the XL-500. This rubber foot is kind of like a grommet. There's a inner side to the feet that goes inside the body, and that's different than on the other Webster JP1s like the Brother Charger or the XL-500. But the bottom's in really good shape. Feet are in excellent shape. So all around, it's cosmetically in really good condition. I like that 70s look for the wood paneling. And we're gonna take a quick look at the case here. Okay, here we have the case. It's a dark blue one. It has a little bit of white stuff on there. I tried cleaning it off and I got it, I mean, it's looking 100% better than when I got it. But I'm gonna probably just leave that because I don't want to scratch the vinyl or whatever that is. I cleaned it with a toothbrush and did fingernail and got almost all of it off. All around, the case is in good shape. It's got one little tear here, but otherwise the zipper's in excellent shape. And the feet on the bottom, got 4 little feet. They're also in good shape. And then open it up. And here's some bubble wrap that I told you about. That's what we're going to put on that return handle. And then the inside's in good shape. Clean that up a little bit. Also has the original manual. Yeah, just the original manual, which is always nice to have. You can see that it was made in Nagoya, Japan. So I think originally there was a little pencil eraser that went in here. We don't have that, but we do have the original manual, and the case is in good shape. Handle, it's got this cool silver black stripe to it. All around a really nice case, other than that one little scuff and tear right there. Just a quick update on the case. I went ahead and it was white underneath there where the fabric was torn off, and I covered it with a blue marker covered by a black marker, and then I glued down a little piece of fabric that was sticking up, so it's a little bit of an improvement.
Now my assistant will be doing the type test.
Alright, so as on every single Brother JP1 that we've had, the platen and the feed rollers feel like new. You can put your fingernail in and get a mark on the platen. So that's one of the reasons I like these machines. You don't have to splurge and get a new platen and feed rollers because the rubber is still good. Just as a matter of habit though, you could probably get away with doing one piece of paper, but I always use two. So put the paper support up. Yeah, close enough. All right, we'll do a couple lines on black. I really like the touch of Brothers. The touch control, as I mentioned, actually makes a difference if you push the key lightly when it's on L and then do it on hard touch. You can really feel a difference. I like to keep it on light for touch typing. You hear the bell. And there's the line lock kicking in when we get to the right margin. Stops the type bars from typing over the last letter. So if you want to keep going into the margin, just push margin release. And by the way, the margin release key is also the de-jammer key. So if you got two type bars that are stuck up together, you either flick them back with your fingers or push the margin release de-jammer key and presto, they come back. I love Brothers because they never skip, they don't bunch like some other brands of typewriters seem to be inclined to do. They're just super reliable, easy to type on, easy to get the body panels off for an amateur like me to take apart and clean and maintain. All right, we'll do a couple lines on red. There were some adjustments that I had to make. The typeface was wonky, the lower and uppercase letters were off, so I made those adjustments. The space bar, every time I pushed the space bar down, it wasn't tripping the escapement, so I adjusted that. There's also some rubber bumpers underneath the space bar and the repeat spacer button. Those were missing, and so I put new rubber bumpers on there, so you get a nice bouncy sound instead of a clacking metal on metal sound. All right, so now on red, try it again. see the typeface is, the imprint is nice and crisp. And we'll do a quick alignment test as I pass the camera back off to my assistant. There you go. So we'll do uppercase H, lower H, uppercase, lower H, shift lock H. And then we'll do it on this side. The brother has that adjustment on both sides of the carriage since it's a carriage shift machine, which by the way for carriage shift machines it's a little heavy compared to like a Skywriter where the carriage just tips back. This one needs a little bit of heft. All right, H, 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 shift lock H. All right, let's take a look at that. Nice and aligned. So excellent typing machine, super reliable. I actually like the touch. The spacing on the keys is just about right for my hands. I like the way the red buttons pop on this. Just the color scheme all around is looks really good. Okay, forgot to show, I've mentioned this in other videos, but there's two little notches on the little card guide or whatever that scale's called. And you can stick a pencil in either one of those. And then when you move the carriage, you can make your horizontal lines and vertical lines. So you can make a little text box. Kind of cool.
Now we'll wrap up this review with some pros and cons. Sorry about the shadow, by the way. Okay, so the pros are it's clean inside and out. The body panels are cool blue color. Preset tab and key and repeat spacer. Reliable and relatively easy to take apart for maintenance. Case is in good shape overall. Rubber platen and feed rollers are still soft. New rubber grommets under the ribbon cover. New rubber bumpers under space bars and ribbon cover. Rubber feet in excellent shape and small and easy to carry around.
And cons, we can only think of a few. One is just a little tear on the case, but well, like we said, overall it's in excellent shape, but that one little tear is a little bit of a bummer. It's a little bit louder than some typewriters. Some people don't care for brothers because they don't have much in the way of sound insulation. There's a little foam piece on the bottom and on the side panels, but nothing compared to like a Hermes 3000 that has about a 3/4 inch of felt in there for sound dampening. But the sound doesn't really bother me. I'm kind of used to the thwack thwack of the little brother typewriters. It's a little bit tinny sounding also. It's just the sound of the brothers, and some people like it, some people don't. And then something I've noticed, I probably had 30 brothers pass through my hands, and they all, on the red setting, every now and then, I'll take this ribbon cover off. Because when it's on the black setting, the ribbon vibrator comes up and hits the black part of the ribbon. When it's on the red setting, the vibrator jumps up higher. And every now and then, the ribbon on the red setting, because this is coming up higher, will jump out of that fork. And if that happens, you just have to put it back in. These things are supposed to keep tension on the ribbon. And you just have to take the spool out, put it back in, or just grab that ribbon with a pair of tweezers with your hands and just put it back through the fork. So not a big deal, but I've noticed that on just about every single brother I've had. So I'm gonna say that it's not, this particular machine is just one thing that brothers have in common is that for whatever reason on the red, every now and then it has a tendency to jump out. And that's it for pros and cons. Overall, we love these machines.
Thanks for watching on Typewriter Minutes. Make sure to share, link, like, and subscribe. Goodbye.